So Asmongold decided to play Ashes of Creation this weekend, and it went exactly the way you would have expected it to go.
Yo, what's up, boys? Wait. This guy's how does this guy attack me? Even whenever I kill mobs, like, I can't do anything. Okay, I'm dead again.
Ashes of Creation is entirely unplayable for Asmongold, and even with the future projected mechanics, I just don't think the game is going to be enjoyable for both him and his viewers long term. Operative word being long term. Many of the solutions that I've seen proposed are either incomplete or extremely short term solutions. We need long term solutions for these giga streamers to be able to play the game and for their viewers to be able to enjoy the game. This is a really difficult problem to solve because it's the ultimate edge case. If you're watching Asmongold get griefed and you think this is in any way representative to the experience you're going to have, you are wrong. Let me beat that into your skull. This is not the experience that 99.999% of people are going to have. Even most streamers are not going to have this experience. Asmongold and the other giga streamers have it's a very different world for them. It's also a different world for me. I am somebody that has a degree of MMO clout. People know who I am from previous games. I come from other PvP games. I am on the ultimate Giga Sweatlord PvP server that is Resna. People on this server know me from other games. They don't like me. You know, there's guys from Winterblades and UXA and guys that in other games I have had rivalries with that are on this server, and we just run past each other. Why? Because there is a large degree of friction. Getting in meaningless fights has a lot of consequences. It's, for the most part, just not worth it. It's really just not worth it to randomly murder your normal average person. There are a lot of small friction elements that just make it not worth it. It's like a street fight in real life. Even if you win a street fight in real life, you kind of lose. And the consequences are immense. There's a lot of risk involved. You have a lot of factors that have a chilling effect on PvP in general, whether it be death penalties, XP debt, losing your gear, travel time, and even just in general, the world is so dangerous that you just don't want another thing to deal with. So there's a lot of reasons why people are, for the most part, pretty peaceful in this game. And in fact, I've ended up kind of just grouping up with some of my previous rivals from other games because it's like, I know he's a good player. He knows I'm a good player. Let's just make this easier for each other and just join teams for right now. Maybe in the future we're going to go to war, but for right now, like, it's hard out there. Let's group up. The core problem is that the risk to reward equation does not work when you factor in external factors like killing Asmongold in front of 100,000 people. People are going to deal with having to grind off 2 hours of corruption if they can get a reaction from Asmongold and his 100,000 viewers in chat. That is worth it to them. Getting their fun YouTube clip of griefing Asmongold, it changes the game. And this is, again, only really the case for Asmongold and the other giga tier streamers. These guys that have thousands, tens of thousands of people watching them. It starts to break down at that point. Again, making Asmongold the ultimate edge case. I have not seen other streamers, even like streamers with 500, 600, 700 views, getting ganked really at all. Only Asmongold is where, you know, the thing breaks down and it becomes worth it to kill him at that point. This situation sparked the obvious debate of, should we do anything about this? Should Asmongold get special treatment, or should we just let the game mechanics and the community sort this out? Is this griefing? Is this against the rules? Or is this just part of the game? Well, a lot of people have had a lot of different opinions on it. Some people suggesting things as radical as a PvE mode, which would be pretty radical for this game considering, you know, the caravans, and honestly, it's not a great solution. Luckily for us, the precedent has already been set. Griefing players will be a bannable offense. The people that were griefing Asmongold relentlessly have already been banned. We don't know the extent of these bans, if they're short-term bans, long-term bans, whatever. But Steven has come out and said on public record on the Pirate Software stream that if you grief players like Asmongold was griefed, you will be banned.
PvP is good. Griefing is bad. Griefing is an actionable offense. What's the difference between PvP and griefing? Use your common sense. It's as good as that. I saw on Reddit, you know, these false dichotomies of, Well, if I can't grief, then there shouldn't be any PvP. And to be honest with you, that's bullshit. And I
Yeah.
also saw one person say to me, "Hey, I played those old school games, and all we ever did was run around the newbie zone and kill people." And I'm like, "Excuse me, I played those old school games, and I didn't do that. So you shouldn't do that. And that's how you kill games."
Yeah.
So I have said many times in the past that our stance on griefing will always be it's an actionable offense. And to be fair, the players that I banned yesterday are players who I gave 3 separate warnings to stop griefing this brand new logged in player. That isn't preferential treatment. I don't care if it was Asmongold or Joe Schmo off the side of the street. If it's a new player trying to learn the game, you going and harassing and killing that person for no political motivation, for no opportunity cost, for no scarcity of resources, all the reasons why PvP should exist, you are doing it for opposite of that. You are doing it to harass a person off of the server. By all means, go find a different community. That is not our intent, and you are exploiting our systems.
Yeah, no, I like that. And I'm glad you're not pulling your punches on banning people. Like straight up. I think that's one of the biggest missteps that I've seen inside of large scale MMOs is the company goes, "Oh, we can't ban people because if we ban people, then we won't have people buying the video game." It's like, no, if you don't ban people for these actions, less people
correct.
will feel good about the game and you will
That's
lose
right.
more players. It's one of the worst
Absolutely.
decisions that companies make. They
Absolutely.
want to conserve 5 players and they lose hundreds as a result of it.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
I personally think this is the correct response because even if these kind of bans don't happen very often, the threat of potentially being banned will dramatically change player behavior. And all you have to do is look back to World of Warcraft and what's happened with people buying gold. In 2004 WoW, yes, people were buying gold, but a lot of people didn't because there was a threat of a looming ban. People were scared to buy gold and lose their account that they worked hard on because if you got caught, you got banned. Well, guess what? They stopped banning people, or the bans they gave out were pretty minimal. So then you fast forward to Classic, the relaunch of Classic WoW, and everybody's buying gold all the time because there's not really any penalties. So the threat of a looming ban will dramatically change player behavior. And all you need to do is look at real life examples. Even if a small amount of people get dramatic consequences, it will dramatically change behavior. Look at protests. You'll have 500,000 people protesting something in real life. And then all of a sudden, a few people get shot by the government and the protest is over. A few people getting the consequence will change the masses in terms of behavior. Another thing that really helps Ashes of Creation is that the game is pay to play. You're going to have to pay at least $15 to get an account. But the big thing is the time investment. It's going to take a lot of time to get a griefing viable account, and a lot of people just aren't going to want to risk their account if, again, there is a threat of a ban for griefing. Now, there's going to be a lot of people that get upset that griefing is a bannable offense, and not for the reason you think. Not because they want to grief, but because the rule cannot be enforced evenly, and this is a genuine critique. If you, Joe Blow, get griefed by a guy, unless it's just egregious, that guy's probably not going to get banned. Flat out. He's probably not going to get banned. Nobody cares about you specifically, but a streamer they care about. This is a genuinely valid argument, and it's true. This rule will not get enforced evenly. Only the streamers and the high-profile players are really going to see this benefit them, realistically. But my response to it is, what do you expect? Streamers and YouTubers are an incredible asset, and just turning them away, saying, "Oh, this is not the game for you," is kind of crazy in today's modern age. Earned media is incredibly powerful. Everybody likes to talk about, "Oh my God, this game died because it had no marketing, blah, blah, blah." But the reality is that earned media, the things that you don't pay for, are much, much more valid. Things like the Lazy Peon video have done more for Ashes of Creation than a multi-million-dollar marketing campaign could have ever done because it's earned media. There's a feeling of genuineness to it. It resonates more. And even in real life, we've had 2 elections in the United States, largely, decided by earned media. One candidate had a lot of earned media. The other candidate was in a basement. Turning away streamers and losing all of that free marketing is obviously a bad move. But not only are you turning away the free marketing, you are marketing your game poorly because a lot of people are going to view Asmongold getting griefed and think that is genuinely the experience they're going to have when they play the game. They don't really think it through and think, okay, Asmongold is obviously a 0.00001% edge case. No, they're just going to see Asmongold dying to max level players, and they think that's what the game is. They're not going to look into the corruption system. They're not going to do any research. They're going to think that's what the game is and not even take a second look at it. And that's obviously bad for the game. So what's my solution? Well, I think the only long-term solution that's going to work is that high-profile streamers will have to get special privileges. Now, I know a lot of people are going to hear that and think, what? That's crazy. That is madness. But here's the thing, guys. Big streamers already get special privileges. When you watch, these big Warzone streamers and big, FPS streamers, there are people watching their streams, banning cheaters in real time. They have a hotline that they can, contact and get people banned immediately. They already get special treatment. So it's not like this is a new thing in gaming. Does the President of the United States get special treatment when he goes somewhere? Yes, obviously, because he has to. Guess what, guys? Asmongold is the president of MMORPGs. He is the most popular MMORPG player in the world. Obviously, he's going to have to get special treatment, or the whole thing is not going to work. Before we get into my solution, let's quickly talk about things that are not going to work. The first thing I see suggested are PvE servers. Guys, this doesn't work. The entire game's risk to reward mechanic hinges on potential PvP. Even if actual PvP doesn't happen that often, the threat of PvP is a massive thing that changes player behavior. If you know for sure you're going to be 100% safe doing something, guess what? That caravan, that super risky caravan with all that stuff in it, who gives a fuck? You just run it because you're not going to get ganked. You're not going to get killed. It's free. That farming spot, it's never going to be contested. There's never going to be a group of players that could potentially bully you out of it. Maybe they don't kill you, but, big group of, 8 tough guys walks up to you and says, hey, get out of this farming spot or else. Most of the time, you're just going to get out of that farming spot. People get bullied out of farming spots all the time. But guess what? In a PvE game, it becomes this weird passive-aggressive mob tagging game. It's stupid. There are a lot of mechanics, and the game itself largely hinges on potential PvP. The game relies on player friction. The game has been intentionally designed to have layers and layers and layers of just little micro friction things that stack up to a lot. They add up to be quite a lot. It's actually a pretty brilliant design from what I've seen thus far. And if you just make it a PvE server, all that stuff falls apart. What if you just gave streamers God mode to where they couldn't be killed by other players? While, yes, this does solve the problem of them getting ganked, it does not solve the problem of them getting griefed. The dirty little secret is that you can grief a streamer without even killing them. If you just have a max level ranger and you're just killing every single mob in front of them, or just riding around on their mount, like just following them, like you can grief people without killing them. So while you can give them God mode, it doesn't really stop the griefing, doesn't really stop them from having a terrible experience. And in a way, it almost makes the problem worse because you have the bad marketing of God mode, you take away the thrill and the intrigue of potentially getting killed, and it doesn't really solve the problem. And the other thing I see suggested is just ban the griefers. Now, this is something they're already doing, something I agree with, something that I'm sure they will continue to do, but the problem is that long-term, it's just not practical. Sure, it works when Asmongold decides to stream Ashes of Creation and it's a big event, whatever, but when the game actually comes out and you have a bunch of big streamers playing 16 hours a day, you just can't dedicate all of this game master time to watching a streamer to see if he gets griefed and then, being judge, jury, and executioner to see if this guy is actually griefing or if he's a player. Like, it's a lot of work to do for an individual to just in real time monitor this. So what's my solution? Well, it's a combination of everything with my own little twist on it. First thing you want to keep doing is keep banning the griefers. The looming threat of a ban, even if they're not done very often, is going to dramatically change player behavior. Ashes of Creation is a game that's got a big grind to it, long leveling curve. Things take time. The threat of a ban is going to dramatically change player behavior. So keep doing that. Next thing you're going to do, and this is going to be controversial, is have a whitelist of accounts. With this whitelist of high priority streamers, of high profile, high priority streamers, they get special powers. What are the special powers they get? First thing they get is a toggleable God mode that lasts until you are max level. Anytime before you are max level, you as the streamer can choose to be in God mode where you are not killable by other players. From levels 1 to 49, you can turn it on. You can't be griefed while you're leveling. But as soon as you hit level 50, it's off. I think this solution is pretty elegant because it's toggleable, meaning that a streamer could turn it off if they wanted to participate in PvP, while also not getting griefed while they're leveling. Let's be honest, even at level 49, if a level 50 rolls up on you to kill you, first of all, they probably have the advantage on you. They probably have a significant gear advantage on you, and nobody really respects a max level character ganking a guy leveling. It's not really a thing that's respected, and I don't think too many people are going to get upset that a streamer has God mode while he's leveling. So that's the first thing. And now for the moment you've all been waiting for. What is my brilliant idea to prevent griefing in these high-profile streamer cases? Well, you just give streamers the ability to teleport other players to the corner of the map. If a streamer's getting griefed, all he's got to do is click on a player, hit the teleport button, and that guy gets teleported to the top corner of the map, super far away from the streamer, and now he's got an hour-plus run to get back to the streamer to grief him. Ashes of Creation is a game with a massive game world. There is no fast traveling. There's no teleporting. There's none of that. Meaning that if you get teleported to the corner of the map, you're going to have to run for an hour-plus time to get back to Asmongold. This makes griefing not fun. This makes it hilarious when the streamer teleports the griefer, and now the chat's like, lol owned. Have fun on your walk, Forrest Gump, or whatever they say. I think this is an incredibly elegant solution to preventing the griefing. Now, some people are going to say, if you're just going to give streamers God mode and the ability to teleport griefers to the corner of the map, they're obviously just going to abuse this. Are they? Are they really going to abuse this? First of all, only the most high-profile streamers would be given this ability. Also, guys, are you not realizing these are streamers that are live streaming the game? AKA, if they teleport a player, like, unfairly, or they're just obviously abusing this power, they're just going to have it taken away from them and banned. Dude, a streamer is never going to be able to use this maliciously within 5 seconds being put on live stream fails. So I think it is much more of an elegant solution to give these high-profile streamers a tool to deal with it in real time rather than trying to redesign the game around them. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Hope you enjoyed the video. Have a good one.